Greetings, Nick with Sweetwater here, and today we're going to learn the art of a pretty important and much used guitar playing technique, the hammer-on. Yes, my friend, the timeless intro to Black Sabbath's classic Paranoid is perhaps the ultimate rock example of hammer-ons in action. Yes, sir, this 2-bar riff features no fewer than 6 hammer-ons. I repeat, 6. Here it is played slowly with a countdown of said 6 hammer-ons. At this juncture, I should quickly point out that this lesson is aimed purely at future guitar heroes of all ages, not at the seasoned pro. Disclaimer stated, on with the show. As you've probably seen and guessed from what I've already played, a hammer-on is exactly what its name suggests. Namely, you pick a note and then sound the next one by literally hammering down on it with another finger. Like this. Pick. Hammer. Yep, 2 notes for the price of 1 pick. Nice. And you don't need one of these either. The hammer-on has a brother called the pull-off, but we'll deal with that bad boy in another lesson. The reason being, it's a technique that's a little harder to master, so let's get the hammer-on in our playing tool belt first. Ready? Let's go. We'll start off by making our pick note an open string. That way we can just zone in on the hammer-on action. I'm going to choose the open D string. Then I'm going to hammer on to the E note at the 2nd fret, this one right here, with the middle finger of my fretboard hand, like this. And as you can hopefully see, I'm striking the string with the tip of my hammering finger, this part here, the very tip. If you like, you can think of the fingertip of your hammer-on finger as being the head of the hammer, right here. So once again, it's pick, hammer. 1 pick stroke, 2 notes. Perfect. Thinking on it, we could in fact call it a pogo. Pick one, get one. I'm sorry, that was just awful. Also, please notice that I'm hammering onto the E note just behind the 2nd fret, like I would do if I was going to pick the note, namely here. Not here, here. Now, you don't have to hammer on super hard so you're in danger of breaking your finger. But by the same token, you can't be a wimp about it either. Your target is to get the note you're hammering on about as loud as the pick note before it, like this. So, hammer on with confidence, my friend. Do it like you mean it. Don't be timid. Ultimately, it's all about the speed of the hammer-on movement, not the power. And when I say quick, I don't mean do the hammer-on as soon as possible after you've picked the first note. Only do the hammer-on when you want to actually sound the note, not before. Don't be early. So make sure the motion is a quick one, but also do it in time. For example, if I want this timing, but using hammer-ons for every other note, I wouldn't do it like this. That's ridiculous, not the right timing at all. It needs to be like this. So, in summary, the hammer-on motion is fast, but not early. Remember, it's the hammer-on itself that causes the hammered note to ring, not the pick that happens before it. Also, try to remember this. Even though it might sound counterintuitive, keep your fretboard hand and your hammer-on finger relaxed. Tensing them up could well slow down the speed of your hammer-on and also mess with your timing as well. So, relax. Lastly, make sure you're doing the hammer-on with your fingertip like this. So keep your finger curved. We certainly don't want that finger to flatten out, otherwise you could inadvertently cause other strings to make unwanted noise, like this. Unless you intend to do that, that's a no-no. We just want to hear that E note. Not this nonsense. Another cool thing about having your hammer-on finger curved is this. If you do it right after the hammer, it's actually muting the string next to it. So that's killing the G string. So it's doing double duty, doing the hammer and also muting the next string to it. So hammer achieved, mute achieved too. Nice. Anyway, work on this hammer for a while using the middle finger, like this. Then, when you're comfortable with that, do the same with your pointer finger, this one. And then, guess what? Do the same with your ring finger, this one here. Get confident and comfortable with being able to do a hammer-on from an open string with all three of your digits. This skill will prove useful later on in your playing, I promise. And don't forget, use the tip of your hammer-on finger to do this deed. Once you've nailed this, see what it did there? Yeah, I know, another humor fail. Anyway, once you've got this down, it's time to move on to doing this. Yep, those are the exact same notes, D and E, but this time I'm fretting the D note at the 5th fret on the A string with my first finger, and then hammering onto the E with my ring finger at the 7th fret on the same string, like this. One more time. That's not too difficult at all. That said, it might feel a little weird at first because you're asking your fingers and hands to do something they've probably never done before. So please, be patient. If you persevere, after a while, it will become second nature. Now, there are 4 things to remember while practicing this hammer-on technique. Number 1, make sure you're not inadvertently pulling the string down like this. That's not good because it makes the notes sound sharp and out of tune. So do this, not this. You can see and hear the difference, right? One's good, the other one, technically, sucks. Number 2, now I've said this before and I'll probably say it again before the end of this video as well. Remember to do the hammer-on with the tip of your ring finger like this. Not like this. That wasn't good at all. Be precise, my friend. Be precise and keep that finger curved, yet relaxed. Number 3, make sure the hammer-on hits the string just behind the 7th fret, right here. Not like this. That's starting to flub out. And last but certainly not least, number 4. Don't forget, it's all about the speed of the hammer-on motion, not the power. Once you can do this comfortably, then do the exact same movement, but this time on the D string, like this. And remember all 4 rules. Then once you've got that down, move between the 2 strings like this. Then do the same exact thing on the G string as well. And once you're comfortable with that, throw it in the mix too, just like this. And yes, as you've probably noticed, we're using our good old pal, the A minor pentatonic scale. And if you don't know this scale yet, don't worry, there's a link to a video below. Once we've got this mastered on all 3 strings, we can then play stuff like this little A minor pentatonic doodle. And a little slower. One of the reasons hammering on is a great technique to master is because of the way it sounds. Hammer-ons definitely add an element of smoothness to a lick. Let's take this hammer-on lick, for example. Now let's play the same thing, but by picking each note instead of using the hammer-ons. Granted, the picked version is much more articulate than the hammer-on one, but the hammer-on one does sound smoother. Now you'll often hear or see the word legato used when a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs are used in a run. And just so you know, legato is a fancy musical term that means smooth, fluid, or connected. But wait, we're not quite finished yet, and you might not like what's coming next. Yep, we've been ignoring one of our fretboard hand fingers, namely this poor little guy, the pinky. As I'm sure you know, the next 2 notes in our A minor pentatonic pattern, the 2 on the B string, are these ones. So let's add them to our hammer-on party, shall we? And use our pinky to do the hammer-on, just like this. And once again, the same exact rules apply. Relax, use your pinky's fingertip to do the hammering, and remember, it's all about the speed and of course the timing. It might take a while to master this, as this finger is not the strongest in the pack, but it's a technique well worth mastering. You can of course cheat and do this. But if you resort to that, you might not be able to do certain wide stretch hammer-on licks later on, simply because you ignored your pinky and didn't give it the chance to shine. Here's an example of a lick you'll need your pinky for. A bit messy, but I think you get my point. Little finger important, so work the little sucker. The payoff will be worth it in the long run, I promise. Once you can do this comfortably, and also consistently, I'd like you to do the same exact thing on the high E string, like this. Then when you've got that down, combine the two like this. Played slowly, that doesn't sound that impressive, but when you speed it up, it becomes a pretty cool lick that you will have heard your heroes play. Yeah! To finish off, for a bit of fun, let's add the G string into the mix too with another hammer-on like this. And again, a little slower. Oh, and by the way, the notation for a hammer-on in tab is pretty easy. Let's investigate, shall we? Right, pay attention, class. Here's our tab lines. This is the note we're going to pick, and this is the note we're going to hammer onto. So how do we indicate that? Very simply, we take a pen, and we put a curve, just like that. That tells us this note here is the one we pick, and this is the one we hammer onto. And if I really want to hammer that home, oh, very clever human, not, I could just put H above there like that, but really, that, like me, is redundant because it's obvious it's a hammer-on because this is higher than that. Got it? Back to the video. Have fun with this technique and try coming up with some cool A minor pentatonic hammer-on licks and runs of your own. Then, check out our lessons on the art of the pull-off, plus triplet hammer-ons and triplet pull-offs. Stay safe. I'm out. See ya. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Check here for more videos like this, or start at sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs. Goodbye.